Yo, what's going on, guys? It's DovMac, back again after a long hiatus, but similarly to my favorite video game studio, Square Enix, it's always big announcements that brings me back to YouTube and brings me back to a microphone to talk all things gaming and Square Enix. So, during Summer Games Fest 2026, the huge news that came out was that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 Revelation is officially coming out in spring of 2027. So, in the span of 7 years, funny enough, Final Fantasy VII, all three parts of the Final Fantasy VII Remake project have released. Now, I want to talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 Revelation, the title, and all of that stuff. But I also want to use this video to talk about Kingdom Hearts because I'm primarily a Kingdom Hearts channel, and I have to talk about what Revelation means for the revelation of Square Enix's game release schedule and where Kingdom Hearts 4 falls in that. Because the fact that we know kind of everything about Final Fantasy VII to this point, at least this remake trilogy and when it comes out, it gives us a little hint and clues to when we might see Kingdom Hearts next. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we get into all of the Square Enix game schedule stuff, let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 Revelation. So just 2 short years after Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 Rebirth was released, and just a few days after Rebirth was released on Switch 2 and Xbox, we get the full reveal for Part 3 Revelation. Now, Rebirth is one of the greatest games I've ever played. It arguably is Square Enix's greatest game ever. Taking the original, huge step into the open world that was Disc 2 of the original Final Fantasy VII on PS1 and turning that into a massive open world game with so much to do, with so much story, such beautiful graphics, with such a huge party and so many story beats that Final Fantasy VII has in it, was nothing short of remarkable. But once you get to the end of Rebirth and you realize that, the plot steps up, we need to go get Sephiroth, the full world is open now, and the High Wind is available, and you're going to be flying around the world. How in the world are they going to make that game and release it anytime soon? Well, with all of the updates we've gotten over the last few years, that development was going smoothly for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. It's here, and the High Wind is there, and Sid and Vincent Valentine are all playable now. Everybody's playable, and you can just skydive off the High Wind into anywhere in the world that you want on Gaia. And Midgar is going to be back. Obviously, Midgar plays a huge part in the third part of the story in the original game. The Junon canon gets placed on Midgar. It's fucking crazy. It's awesome. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go play the original Final Fantasy VII on PS1. And it'll set you up pretty good for what's going to happen in Revelation, plus whatever more happens. Actually, there's a lot of homework for those who want to play Revelation and know everything that goes about it. I won't get into spoilers here. But all of this to say that there's so much that people were like, okay, I don't know when Revelation, Part 3 is going to come out, but they have a lot of work to do because with how ambitious and how amazingly they pulled off Rebirth despite that incredible ambition, now it's like, holy shit, Part 3 is here, and it is coming out in spring 2027, less than 3 years after Rebirth. Square Enix is following up one of its greatest games ever with its sequel within 3 years. Now that is how game development should be. This is like PS2 era. Like, you want Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you're going to get them within 3 years. You want, like, Ratchet and Clank, fucking 1, 2, and 3, you're going to get those in a couple years. You want Jak and Daxter to Jak 2 to Jak 3, only a couple years in between those. Final Fantasy VII, this whole remake project has done what gamers and people have been just kind of yearning for. 3 amazing games coming out in less than a decade. And that's the thing. They didn't sell it short. Part 2, Rebirth, like I said, is one of the greatest games I've ever played. Remake was one of the greatest, versions that a remake could possibly get. I absolutely fucking loved that game. And I was just like, okay, like, it's going to follow a similar story beat. There were some changes, but it's just going to be, an HD version of the original Final Fantasy VII. Like, I'm getting into this. This is cool. Whatever. And then Rebirth changed the game. And I imagine Revelation will do the same thing. This is game development that, people want to talk about. And I'm going to talk about Kingdom Hearts here in a second. Like, obviously, Kingdom Hearts is in a different, very weird kind of place right now. But Square putting all of their effort and focus into this remake project is going to be worthwhile, and it has been worthwhile so far. So to see this revealed today, and to see how far along it is, and to see how gorgeous it looks, I just couldn't be more excited for Part 3 come spring of next year. We are under a calendar year away from the conclusion of this game. Under a decade. Unbelievable. I'm so excited. That's just my general thoughts about Part 3. But like I said, I want to talk about where this kind of puts Kingdom Hearts, and got to talk about Dragon Quest as well, and where that kind of falls in, and what this reveals for Kingdom Hearts 4, because I love Final Fantasy VII, but I'm a Kingdom Hearts nerd, and I got to talk about that too, and how Square Enix and Tetsuya Nomura are all involved in that. So let's get into Square Enix timeline now that we know that Revelation is coming out in spring of next year. So last year, the last time that I made a YouTube video was when Kingdom Hearts Missing Link got canceled, and it was around then that we started to speculate when we might see Kingdom Hearts 4. We knew that that was going to take a bump, and development was going to go kind of unexpected, because something like that had never happened in the Kingdom Hearts series before. They had to scrap story, and I'm sure there was part of Kingdom Hearts 4's development that needed to kind of go back to the basics and try and work in whatever story elements Missing Link was going to put into the Kingdom Hearts story and make that fixed. So in that time, Square Enix is also looking at its business plan. They brought in a new CEO. They were like, we need to focus on our bigger titles. We need to push all of our titles towards every platform that we can, which is also a huge part about Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 Revelation. It's releasing worldwide simultaneously on every fucking console you can imagine. Like, you can play this goddamn game on a toaster if you wanted to, and it's still going to come out in spring of next year. Besides the point, last week, Dragon Quest XII was kind of re-revealed to the public. Now, Dragon Quest XII, I'm not a Dragon Quest guy, but when Kingdom Hearts fans think they have it tough, like, always look at her friends to the left here, the Dragon Quest fans. So Dragon Quest XII got revealed about a decade ago, and it was always constantly under development. There was never news for Dragon Quest XII until last week. So we found out that Dragon Quest XII had been renamed from Dragon Quest XII The Flames of Fate to Dragon Quest XII Beyond Dreams, and that they basically had to start development over completely and entirely a couple years ago. Now, they said that they still need some more time to put this game together. I think it's still pretty vague about when they had to start over and how much they had to restart development on, but there's kind of been now, in this last week, a lot of speculation about what Square Enix game is going to come out, because it's going to be Remake Part 3, which is now Revelation, Kingdom Hearts 4, or Dragon Quest XII. Last week, when we found out that Dragon Quest XII had to restart development, it was like, okay, Dragon Quest XII is third place in that list. Now, will it be Kingdom Hearts 4, or is it going to be Remake Part 3? With the consistent updates that the game director was giving us over the last year or so, saying like, oh, the game is in a playable state, like Remake Part 3 is progressing smoothly, and Kingdom Hearts has its canceled games and whatnot, it's like, okay, it's going to be Remake first. But next year is the 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII and the 25th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts. So it's sort of like, well, that's a huge year for both of them. What's going to happen? What takes precedent? It's Final Fantasy VII. So, I mean, the whole first part of this video was, yep, Final Fantasy VII is coming out in spring of next year. So, we know Final Fantasy VII is first, Dragon Quest is last, Kingdom Hearts 4 is in the middle. Next year is Kingdom Hearts' 25th anniversary. Final Fantasy VII Revelation, Remake Part 3, is coming out in spring of next year, right around when Kingdom Hearts turns 25. Square is going to focus everything into Final Fantasy VII, and Kingdom Hearts is going to get its light in the day. Now, Kingdom Hearts' 24th anniversary passed this year. Tetsuya Nomura released a new image of Xehanort in the Rain saying, look forward to the 25th anniversary. So everybody's like, we still got to get something. All we have is screenshots in this drawing. Like, yeah, clearly Square put all of their eggs into the Final Fantasy basket for now, and they were like, okay, Kingdom Hearts 4 will come when it comes. We had to cancel Missing Link so we can make Kingdom Hearts 4. Let's put that over here. Let's focus on Final Fantasy VII. And I know there are different development teams. I'm not saying like they're not working on these games at the same time. But that's what happened. So here's what I think is what the timeline is now. Final Fantasy VII Revelation is going to be in March or April of next year. March is obviously, March 28th will be the 25th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts series. So Revelation's going to reveal, and around that time, there will be a Kingdom Hearts event of some kind where they announce multiple Kingdom Hearts updates. And I don't know if it'll be around that time where they announce the native Switch ports, or if that rumored Kingdom Hearts 1 remake is actually real. I don't think it's real anyway, but like if it is, I feel like a big event would be something where they would do something like that. And then they reveal Kingdom Hearts 4 similarly to what they did to Revelation today, and it's going to be in like a crazy state. And then Kingdom Hearts 4 will release in spring of 2028. That's what I think is going to happen. And then, God help the Dragon Quest XII fans. I hope for their sake that Dragon Quest XII also comes out in 2028, late 2028. If not, it's going to be 2029. And then who knows what happens after that. If they're going to remake Dirge of Cerberus or something like that, and keep this Final Fantasy VII train rolling, or, whatever Kingdom Hearts game comes after 4, I hope is quicker after that, just based on the turnaround of this whole Final Fantasy VII trilogy. Again, the fact that they had 3 games come out in 7 years, I really hope that Square is able to keep up that momentum across all of its extremely popular IP between Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, and Dragon Quest for all of our fans' sake. Like this Final Fantasy VII remake project should be studied, because just looking at the calendar and when these things should go, like Kingdom Hearts obviously hit the hiccup of canceling Missing Link. Dragon Quest has its own issues, but like Final Fantasy VII is being that example for everybody. And I mean, beyond Square Enix projects, like this is just how games should be. I mean, holy shit. 3 games, 7 years, and they're all like arguably some of the greatest games ever made. And that's just saying something. So there you guys have it. That is kind of all of my thoughts about Final Fantasy VII Revelation. I'm so fucking excited for that game and the conclusion of that trilogy and whatever comes next. It truly is one of, if not gaming's greatest story, and I'm so excited to see just that trilogy cap off. And again, like in under a decade, like I turned 29 on Sunday, just a day after I'll publish this video. So like to have this trilogy kind of define my 20s is really kind of awesome, because it's like kind of grown up with me in the way that like the original Kingdom Hearts did. Like these games have helped me kind of not turn into like a grown adult, but kind of navigate the weirdness of adult life. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake came out like right when COVID hit. It was March 2020. And, like lockdown began with Remake. And now, here we are. It's going to be 7 years later, that the third part comes out. And then, because of that, because of the amazing work that Square and that team has done on these 3 games, I'm going to be ready and braced for the continuation of my actual favorite series of all time, Kingdom Hearts. But this whole journey through Final Fantasy VII, the remake project, has allowed me to kind of be, a new version of me, a better version of me, once Kingdom Hearts 4 finally comes out, which hopefully is 2028, just based on the speculation and all the stuff that I think might happen today. I really hope that does happen, but it seems like a pretty safe and solid timeline that Kingdom Hearts 4 will be a 2028 game, since Final Fantasy VII Revelation is the 2027 game. And then, like I said, God help Dragon Quest, and hope that that's a 2029 game, if not a 2028 game for those fans. But thank you so much for listening to me on this scriptless video. Again, that's kind of been how I've made my return to YouTube the last couple of times, but it's just fun for me to talk about gaming, especially when a huge game like this, a game that I love and follow, gets revealed like this. It's just, the way life has gone, like I said, me navigating my late 20s, it's not always perfect. I don't have all of the time in the world to make YouTube videos anymore, but anybody who is listening or watching, I appreciate you watching. And if you're going through something too, and you're trying to navigate life, I hope you're still able to find comfort and solace in video games, because they are an amazing medium to express yourself and to find a community of people. And, I appreciate anybody who's watching this, because video games help me do that. So, thank you so much. Whenever there's another update for Final Fantasy VII Revelation or Kingdom Hearts 4, I will be back again. But if there's anything cool that happens in between then, or I want to upload some of my Lego Batman footage, then maybe I do that. But thank you guys so much again for listening and watching. And until next time, or until there's more nerd news, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.